Hi, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. Wow. I just got done doing a podcast on Adam Brown's Adventures channel with the two other dive teams, Exploring with Doug and Sean. He was the guy that had the boats that saved us back in July. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have never had found Roy's car. Okay, we're going back in June, all three dive teams, and we're going to search that car like nobody's ever searched a car before underwater. That's what we're going to do. So check out the podcast. It's on his channel. And the other news that I have is that, well, of course, there's a movie deal going on right now. I really can't say more than that about it. And not only do I have a movie deal, I'm going to be, it looks like, the first guest on a new television program that's going to be on Max, HBO Max thing, and it's called The Untitled Hollywood Stories. So I'm going to be shooting that video, that documentary, on May 16th up in Culver City, California. And so this TV show is, I guess, funded by Warner Brothers Discovery Channel on there, and it's going to be on other channels too. So it's going to be about my marriage with none other than Danielle Staub from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. For those of you that don't know that story, I was married to her. It's all in that book there. Not all of it, but most of it's in there. I did several videos of her on this channel that you guys can go back and look. And so it's going to be interesting. This is the first time I'm going to be actually interviewed about my marriage and what went on, how I met her, how I got her out of prison, how all of these things that I'm just, you know, the production people for this new show, Untitled Hollywood Stories. Yeah, it's untold stories. So I don't know if I'm going to be the first. It's going to be the first season, first episode. I hope I get that spot. I don't know how many other things that they tape, but anyway, that we're going to be looking forward to that. As soon as I get the air date, I'll let you guys know. So now, speaking of Danielle Staub, which I haven't in a while. So when when her name was resurrected in my mind, you know, I have such disdain for that thing. She's not a woman. She's a, anyway, all that'll come out on the TV show. So I started thinking about her, and of course we got the dive team is going back in like 6 weeks from now. I will be in New York. We will have the boats. We're going to have the right equipment, everything. This is going to be like, we're going to descend on that location under the 59th Street Bridge like nobody's business. And I'm hoping that I can get you guys to go. There's a park right under the 59th Street Bridge. Now, don't forget, this car is only like 80, 90 feet offshore, 35 feet north of the 59th Street Bridge. 59th Street Bridge. We're going to be talking about this bridge that has haunted me for 50 years. And Danielle Staub, who tortured me for the 3 years I was with her, the 1 year I was married to her. So we got the stories like intertwined. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. So I put that car in the water for Roy DeMeo and Joey Bikini in 1974. Fast forward 12 years. 12 years. Baby, can you, never mind. Never mind. I just had a thought in my head. So 12 years later, it's 1996. I'm one of the highest paid DEA informants that they had at the time. Had a lot of power with the government. You know, when you're an informant, a paid informant as opposed to an informant working off criminal charges. Like, you got so much power. You're above the law, by the law. No matter what I did, I got out of it. And I did plenty of wacky, crazy things. And some of them are in the book, some of them aren't. So anyway, it's 12 years after I put that car in the river. During those 12 years, and during the whole 50 years, every time I would take the Queensboro Bridge, because I would always be going from Queens to the Bronx, from the Bronx to Queens. Didn't want to pay that toll on a Triborough Bridge, so I would use the 59th Street Bridge. And I was always, when I was on the Queens side of the 59th Street Bridge, I would always avoid going to the outer lane of the lower level of the 59th Street Bridge, because that's where you could see where the shore meets the river. So in October 1986, I had a big blowout with Danielle Staub. I had an Uzi machine gun. There was a bar by the name of Gallagher's Bar. It's in the book there. And this story is in the book. And she was doing everybody in the bar. I mean, and then I found out about it. I go there to confront her. I'm confronted by this guy, I forget his name, Eddie, the 400-pound bouncer. It's all in the book. I don't want to get into that part of the story. They throw me out. I come with the gun. The cops are called. I pass the gun off to my friend. Cops show up. It was Officer Bell, a black officer, the coolest guy. Now, I was above the law, by the law. I could do whatever the fuck I want. But when you put your hands on a cop, that's where the DAs go, I'm not squashing nothing, because he put his... I took this cop who grabbed me from behind. I didn't know it was a cop. All the cops converged at the same time. They were going the wrong way up Queens Boulevard. This Officer Bell from the 108th Precinct, 1986. Look him up. I wish I could. He grabs you from the neck, and I was infuriated. He grabbed me, gave me a Dauphine yoke. I snatched him, and I threw him over the police car. And as I threw him, I go, oh, shit, that's a cop. And then here comes this big Irish cop, like 290 pounds. And I threw him over the car, and I went, it was like this. Oh, I didn't know it was a boom, and I get slammed by this cop, and then the just beating the crap out of me. So anyway, I don't really want to get into that story. So anyway, I have to finish the story. So I get locked up. She and her stripper bouncer friends learn that my brand new, I just bought this. It's an 87 Porsche 928 S4. The pictures of it's in the book. My brand new Porsche, $61,000 Porsche. Back then, that was a lot of money. And they rolled up the newspaper, stuck it in between the seats of the console, and they lit that shit on fire. I'm in the precinct fuming. I'm just out of my mind, coked up, fucking wanted to fight everybody. And I hear on the right, cops walkie-talkie, there's a black Porsche on fire on Queens Boulevard, fucking my car. And I hear that, and I'm, kill her out. And then here she comes. She comes walking right past the cell that I was in. And she's telling him, he's a DEA informant. You can't do anything to him. He's going to get away with this. And she's telling this to the lieutenant. And the lieutenant goes, nobody touches one of my cops. I'm going to burn that fucking guy. And then here comes the DEA. They think they're going to get me. It wasn't getting me out of shit. The only one that got me out of it was Officer Bell. God bless this Officer Bell. So I'm all beat up now because that Irish cop, he knocked the boots. I couldn't breathe. He hit me so hard. He must have been a football player or something. But he hit me. I went fucking. At the time, I was probably 170. He hit me so fucking hard, I saw stars. And then I couldn't breathe. And anyway, then they started tuning me up. I started fighting, and they started tuning me up. So I had a couple of assaults on. I think I had three counts of assaulting a police officer. Three cops I hit. So anyway, I'm beat up. They take me to the hospital. I got to get a CAT scan and stuff. And then Officer Bell shows up. I'm handcuffed to the gurney. He shows up, and he was just a cool. I get along so well with black people because I was brought up in the South Bronx, New York City, and I just have a connection with them. I'm not like a wannabe or anything like that, but I just have a great rapport with African Americans. And he and I clicked right away. And he says, "I understand that you're an informant." I said, "Listen, I didn't see you. You came behind me. What were you thinking? What were you thinking I was going to do? What would any person, normal person, you don't fiend yoke me from behind?" And Officer Bell was about 5'7", maybe 130, 140 pounds. And I said, "I swear to God, I didn't know you. I work with cops." He goes, I know. Everybody's talking about this now. The DEA was at the squad talking to the detectives, and he goes, "But my lieutenant is fuming." He says, "Let me work on him. I'm going to take you to arraignment now, and we'll figure this out." And that's exactly what happened. He talked to the lieutenant, and the cop was Officer Bell was able to go in and said that he didn't want to press charges, and I walked. But it wasn't because I was an informant. It was because that guy was cool. He was just a cool guy. Anyway, so now I get out the next day, or maybe 2 days. I was one day in the hospital, and then um, uh, I don't know if it was dismissed. No, it wasn't dismissed at the arraignment. I don't know if it was dismissed at the arraignment or I had to go back one more time. But anyway, now where's my car? So the cops towed my car to the precinct, smoked out, right? They tow it to the precinct. Now I got to come and get the car and tow it. And the damage wasn't really big because the stupid asses, they rolled up a newspaper and they lit it on fire and put it in between the door, the seat and the console. And they closed the door, the dumbasses. So when they closed the door, the fire burnt itself out, had no oxygen. Burnt it, ate the oxygen, and it went out. But it effed up the dashboard, the console, and there was water damage to the two seats. And so the damage was $31,000. Each seat was $6,500 each, 13,000 in seats I bought with Carol. I actually made money. I made 15 grand or maybe more than that. So thank you very much, ching ching. And don't forget 15,086 was a lot of fucking money. So anyway, and this is where these two stories come together with Roy DeMeo and that 59th Street Bridge. It haunted me all these years, and I'm still find myself drawn to it. So now I'm on a flatbed truck coming from Queens, going to 47th Street, Manhattan Porsche Audi, 47th Street, and I think it was 11th Avenue in the city. And we're on the 59th Street Bridge. And the traffic guards guided us right to the place I didn't want to go, is the far left lane of the 59th Street Bridge, lower level. You can't get off. Once you get on there, you can't get off. If a car breaks down, if there's a traffic accident, you are screwed. You are screwed. So now I'm in this big high truck, unlike a car. When you're in a car, you really can't see the shore where the car was. There's only 35 feet north of the bridge. So if you're in a car and got stuck, you really can't see it. But when you're in a big tow truck, so we get stuck. I don't know, to this day, I don't know what happened. We're there 20 long minutes. And where the hell do you think that we stopped? Where the shore meets the river. And I'm looking down. And it was just, now I did a video about I guess you would call it the supernatural, how Casper the Friendly Ghost made an appearance at the murder house over in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Now, I don't really believe in ghosts or supernatural things. I do believe in our Lord Jesus Christ. I believe that, many times his hand pushed me in directions. I don't know how I'm still alive, to tell you the truth. I don't know how. Now I'm stuck. We're stuck right where the shore meets the river. and I'm looking down. And I'm looking down. Now, don't forget, at that time, I didn't know how deep the water was exactly, but now we do. It's 17 feet of water. This is in the middle of the afternoon. Sun was out. And I'm staring at where I know that car is parked because when I threw Roy DeMeo's Lincoln in that river, I was so nervous because I knew there was a dead body in it because I smelt it, that I forgot to turn the headlights out. So I always knew exactly where that car was. I always knew it. And I'm looking and I'm staring and I can see, I don't want to fucking say anything spooky, but as I'm looking down, the waves, the water is moving, the current is going. And at times when the sun hit the waves the right way, I could see the outline of the car. I could see like something shining, like maybe the bumpers. And don't forget it's the car was there at this time for 12 years. And I'm looking at it and you know what? Even now I get goosebumps telling the story. I have never told this story before. But since I started thinking of Danielle Staub, it started me thinking of her setting my brand new, and I'm a car guy. I'm a devote. Is it devote? Devote. I am a car guy. If I could be buried in my car, that's how I would want to go out. But I wouldn't want to get my car fucked up, so I can't do that. I'm a car guy. And when that bitch fucking burnt my brand new Porsche, boy, was I fucking smoking. I was out of my mind. I had so much adrenaline, the things that I did. And then I was still fighting those cops. When they were taking me to the hospital, I was spitting at them. I was cocoa butting them. I was like, the Irish are, Irishmen, we have even Irish women, I only dated one Irish woman in my life. I wasn't taking that beating anymore, boy, that she would fight me. But anyway, I digress. I'm on the friggin' bridge and I couldn't take 20 minutes. I mean, you might not think 20 minutes is a long time, but 20 minutes you're sitting there and the friggin' driver's talking to me and I'm ignoring the guy. I'm just like, and I'm looking and then I would see it like come into appear. It would appear like when the sun hit it, right? And I'm looking at it and boy, that fucking car haunted me for the past 50 years. And then of course, the traffic started to move. And as we're moving, I could see the friggin' outline. I don't know if I was imagining this in my mind, but I'll tell you what I wasn't imagining. I was not imagining where I knew that car was and where we were right over it on the bridge. I wasn't imagining that. And I could see the car like come, it's hard to explain. But anyway, a lot of my big stories, like stories that took a year to come to fruition, investigation and stuff, working with the DEA for 5 years. There's a lot of these little stories that I would never think of telling on a YouTube channel, but I think that they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool stories. And so again, in June, all 3 dive teams are going back to that location, and we mean business this time. We're gonna search that friggin' car. We're gonna search. The divers tell me they're gonna be on their hands and knees, moving the sand on the bottom of the thing, looking for remains. Now, I was told there's 276 bones in a body, and we found that one bone. And I want you guys to go and look at Adam Brown's Adventures, the new podcast that we did. I learned new things about the bone from the medical examiner, from Nug's wife. Nug is a very matter-of-fact guy, very quiet guy. He's cool as fuck, man. That guy is fucking cool. He's got a way about, when I had for all you guys that watched my interaction with the New York City Police Department, how I wanted to fucking pop that fucking cop in his face. Yeah, I got more important things to do than listen to your bullshit. I wanted to pop that fucking guy. I knew right away that once a New York City cop's got an idea in his fucking head, you're not going to change it. Oh, I knew right away. I wasn't going to waste my time with that idiot. They should have sent somebody from the squad down, a real detective, but they didn't do that. I was working with that bald-headed Kojak wannabe lieutenant. Anyway, Nug, I walked away from the cop because I was going to pop him. I said, you know what? Let me pop him. What are they going to do? At the time, I was 69 years old. What, they going to give me a little beating? I've been there, done that before. I don't give a fuck about no beating. And everybody's on camera. So how bad could the beating be? I mean, I'll pop him, get ROR. There's no bail in New York. I could pop him and be on the street in 2 hours. And then another 6 hours being back in California. Are they going to extradite me for that shit? This was going through my mind. That's why I jerked myself around and walked away. But anyway, Nug, that cop got back in his RMP and he was looking to get out of there. Nug stopped him. And this guy Nug is from Georgia. He lives in a rural area in Georgia. He was able to turn that cop around. He says, listen, the guy's old school. Well, you can see it. Just go to the thing. Anyway, my point is that he was able to turn that cop around and he turned on his camera, called all those cops, got a little huddle, and they did do a DD5. They did do a report. And I know they did a report because I went to the Queens DA's office and I spoke to a detective investigator from the Queens DEA squad. And sure enough, he pulled that up, and then that's how we got it started. Anyway, so now there's some question to whether or not is that bone human or not. Anyway, check out I'm rambling. I'm rambling. I'm just so excited. 6 weeks we'll be there. This time, when I take that flight from LA to New York, I'm not going to be thinking, are we going to find the car? We already found the car. And now I'm just so excited as to what we're going to find in June with those 3 dive teams. God bless them all. I hope I didn't ramble on a little bit too much, but I thought you would find another 59th Street bridge story worth telling. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Got a bunch of new subscribers today because of the podcast, no doubt. People are getting to know who I am and what these stories mean to the rest of the world. And on that note, I'll see you and the 2 back there on the next one.